So my name is Sam. I'm 38 years old and I'm from Newcastle, Texas. I've got a 4-year-old son and I graduated the House of Mercy in 2022, May of last year. But by 2020, I'd have been a pagan for over 10 years. All right, I used the actions of man to justify my anger and disobedience to God. Man, I was getting fed up with life. I was miserable, always thinking about suicide. The best that I ever felt was okay. That's not how we're supposed to live our lives. In that time, I experienced many different jail cells, rehabs, mental institutions, and prisons. And I just got tired of feeling that way. I knew that there was more to life. And I began remembering whenever I was younger, I believed in God. I don't know that I was saved, but I believed in Him. I had this thought. I'd experienced Him, but I didn't really trust Him. You know, I've always been looking for something bigger than myself. It's unfortunately my own self kept getting in the way of being able to see what was bigger than myself. So whenever I got to the House of Mercy, like you heard Whit say, I figured I'd hang out for a little while, get clean, maybe spend a month or two there, get my family off my back, go right back into the same old routine, you know. After a couple weeks there, almost a month or so, I just knew that this is what I'd been seeking my whole life. So I'm like, all right, if I'm going to do this, then I got to do this thing for real. That meant ending a long-term relationship, and that meant putting myself aside and putting God first. The question is, how do you do that? I had to get to know Him. I actually had to get to know Him. When you want a relationship with somebody, you have to communicate. Man, God wrote us a whole big book. You know, He was always trying to communicate with me. It was me that wasn't listening. One of my favorite verses. Is this thing cutting out or what?
Yeah, you're hitting the button with your hand.
All right, I'm sorry. There we go. So my favorite verse is 1 Corinthians 13:13. By these three things, faith, hope, and love. The greatest of these is love. Well, in the King James, it uses the word charity instead of love. Because the Greek word there is agape. That's an action word. That's a verb. It's not a feeling. Okay? Our English word is that love, it does not compare. So over the last 2.5 years, my main goal has been that. Agape. Charity. Now I know that I can never achieve the perfect God-like love here on this earth. It doesn't mean that I don't strive for it though. I'm fortunate enough to be able to volunteer at the House of Mercy. I typically teach 3 classes a week, or 3 days a week. My focus is grace doctrine. That is the doctrine that was taught to Paul by Jesus Christ during His heavenly ministry. I get a chance to get to know people, and I get an opportunity to see what God is doing in other people's lives. And I've learned to appreciate it, and I'm learning to love that. Now, I wasn't jealous of whatever God was doing in other people's lives before. I genuinely did not care. Over the last couple of years, I've come to learn more and more about the Apostle Paul. He's our apostle. You know, he said that he was the apostle to the Gentiles, so I had to learn exactly what that meant. And it's in his writings that we learn about the body of Christ. And it's in his writings that we learn about the grace and love for the entire world and not just a select nation. After graduation, I stayed put. I stayed in the house for another 6 months. God said to wait. An apartment opened up 2 blocks away. I can't drive right now. I get to walk there. It's 3 minutes. I can put on my headphones. I'm there before the first song is over. So the House of Mercy has been my therapy for the last 2.5 years. Preston Crow's been my head counselor. And all my other brothers and sisters have also been my therapists. You understand, that's the beauty of being in the body of Christ. Whenever we are weak, other body members pick up that slack.
Yes.
And whenever they're weak, we get to pick up that slack. This walk with Christ, it takes work, all right? And it's a true relationship. And I understand skepticism 100%. Look, man, 5 or 6 years ago, if you'd have told me that I'd been standing here doing this, I would have laughed in your face and made fun of you. My son doesn't have to know that man. You understand that? Look, I'm a father, I'm a son, I'm a nephew, I'm a grandson, and I'm a brother. But more than any of that, I'm a member of the body of Christ. So abide these three: faith, hope, and charity. Kristen?